shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me the songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Why? Well, because we can. That's why. How you doing, everyone? We are being broadcast live tonight on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. Brent says, break a leg, Paisley. Brent, I already need shoulder surgery. I don't need to break a leg. But thanks. I'll get into it in a minute. Yeah. If you are listening in on YouTube, make sure you stop in and say hello, if you can. Or if you are not able to on YouTube, say hello in one of the other chat rooms, or send me an email at wildpaisley@gmail.com. That's WILDEPAISLEY at gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, you can do so by going to patreon.com/thespacesbetween, or you can hit up Etsy, and that is etsy.com/shop/monarch mountain studio, MTN for mountain. Or if you want to just donate to my online habit here of being online and YouTube and radio and all the stuff, you can go to hashtag, so that's the $, the spaces between. Call line is open tonight. That number is 213-233-3998. Or if you're across the pond in the UK, please call 44203-393-2871. Tonight, Mr. Don is not in the house. Well, he is here, but he's a wee bit exhausted. He keeps getting called into work. Not that that's a bad thing, but so he's off to Nighty Night World, which cannot say as I blame him. I would love to be there myself. But I'm going to be here instead with y'all because you are my social life. And that's not sad. It's great. I love being here with y'all. I do. During the break, or if you don't have, or if you have a chance to do so, go to iLife.com. iLife is the official sponsor of Truth Frequency Radio. iLife combines the goodness of CBD with the unleaded version of the ayahuasca, just to give you the stuff that cures what ails you. And or just kind of helps keep your immune system as such robust. Because you know what? Sometimes we need all the help we can get. Sorry, I've got a cat in a drawer and she keeps trying to steal my hair ties. Drama is a cat. And without a doubt. All right, so yeah, tonight's show is should ask for help. And it's so the genesis here of asking for help. Yeah, it's in part because, online and social media sites of, various sites, and they're everywhere. You see people asking, hey, I need help doing this, or I need help doing that. There's always someone saying, hey, I need help. I don't know what to do. And so I got to thinking, when should you ask for help? That's a good question. It really is. Ethan, this is my coffee. Haha. Coffee is my friend. So, and then, let's see. So here recently, I had to go to the doctor because, periodically as a grown-up, I should be going to the doctor. And I mentioned to my awesome doctor, she really is great. That I had some shoulder pain in my left shoulder, and so she had me do this range of motion thing where, lift your arm, do this, and press on here and that, and I'm like, okay. She's, well, you know what? As you do this thing and you do this stuff, it sounds like you've got some things happening in your shoulders. So let's just get an MRI just to make sure. I'm like, okay, cool, no big deal. And so I got the MRI results, and the MRI results say that I have torn my rotator cuff, and I have a tendon that is currently trying to unravel. And as such, it's cold in the studio, so don't mind my nose. I won't breathe on you, I promise. I have to have rotator cuff surgery here in the next couple weeks. So that'll be an adventure. And I had seriously, purposefully, 100% attempted to not Google rotator cuff surgery because nobody wants to see that. Oh, actually, I do because I'm a geek that way. But yeah, it was really, really interesting. It was really, 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 really interesting. All the different things and the ways they can work on a shoulder. And oh yeah, I have bursitis too. I got 2 patches of bursitis and torn tendons, and yeah, all sorts of fun stuff. So I'm not sure about the show the first weekend after my surgery. We're going to play that one by ear. I may pre-record something just in case, because yeah. And sometimes you got to ask for help, and I'm really glad that it's my left shoulder, because even though I'm ambidextrous, I am right hand dominant. And so it was kind of, I don't know, it was interesting. So I don't have to relearn how to write and all that stuff. So yeah, it'll be an adventure. And thanks, Lucky. Thanks, Nightshade. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it'll be an adventure. So here I am, doing this stuff, and then a friend of mine. So I have 2 friends, and they're both hilarious. And one, her cows got out, so she's chasing her cows. And the rural life, if you've ever had cows and in the rural world community, they're going to get out at least once. It doesn't matter how good your fences are, just once. Anyway, she slipped and fell and wrenched her good knee. So now she's in physical therapy for 2 weeks. And then she's got to go talk to the orthopedic surgeon to see what she has to do to fix her knee. I'm like, oh my gosh. All right, well. And then my other friend with the same name, which I'm not naming names, because, she was in her room doing her own thing, and she accidentally kicked her bed, and she's like, oh no, I think I sprained my toe because it was kind of twisted the wrong way. It's like, I don't think you sprained your toe. I'm pretty sure you broke it. Well, she was, I think I just sprained it because it doesn't hurt that bad, and I can still wiggle it and stuff. Like, that doesn't mean anything. So she put it back where it needed to go, and because I'm obnoxious, I was like, no, you gotta go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. Don't try to tough it out. Just go to the dang doctor. Get the x-ray. It's okay. You have insurance. That's what it's for. So she goes to the doctor. Yeah, she broke that toe that was kind of bent weird, in addition to like 3 bones in her foot. So she's got to have surgery too. So yeah, it's just, I'm doing a cleanse this weekend because apparently as my dad would say, the fit has hit the shan, and the things are breaking everywhere. So let's just get it done. Yeah. It's just, oh my goodness, Julia. So yeah, it's just got to remember to ask for the help. So now I'm looking for like a shower chair for my friends, that 2 separate friends, 2 separate houses that need to be able to shower without having their bum legs in the water. And here I am with a bum shoulder, and Don fell off the roof first of the year. So yeah, that was good times. And it's just like, I'm done with January. Can we move on, please? I have a feeling this whole year is going to be kind of like that. All right, I'm done with this month. Let's move on. I've had this one. So yeah, gotta ask for the help. And for me, on a personal level, it's really hard for me to ask for help. I've always been this very independent person and had to do things on my own, in part because that was it. My dad wanted boys and he got girls, and I'm the oldest. And I've always been really, really athletic. Okay, maybe not in recent years, but growing up, I was really athletic. It was all the sports. I rode horses, trained horses, had the livestock, chores, 4-H, the whole 9 years. Um, so, so yeah. For me to not need that or not be able to just to do the things now is very weird. Like I can't carry a jug of milk in my left hand right now because of my shoulder. And wow, I'm the person who can carry 3 jugs at the same time generally. And that's a gallon jug of milk, pick it up. Well, I used to be able to do like 4. Well, okay, finally slow down. All right, we'll do 3. Those bloody things are heavy. And so get home today and I'm like, hey, there's some groceries in the car. I brought in the Powerades. Not that I really need all the sugar, but you know what? I kind of like having yeah. I don't have sodas. I have Powerades. Doesn't mean they're better for me. Because, yeah, there's a lot of sugar in those too, but not as bad for me as like Dr. Pepper. So, yeah, I had to ask for help bringing in the groceries. And at some point, I'm going to have help, taking the shower and doing the stuff because I'm going to have this thing going on. And I Googled the whole surgery bit and I got to watch a YouTube video today. And it was fascinating, the medical way they fix things. But at the same time, I was like, that's going to hurt like a mofo. Oh my God. I'm not very happy about it. Oh, Lewis, these headphones are not mine. These are Don's. I figure if he's going to go to sleep, I'm going to use his equipment. So there. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Honestly, I need to invest in another set of headphones because my other set's gonna. Anyways, so asking for the help. It's often hard, just in general, to say, I need help. Because our ego often gets in the way. Like, no, I can do this. I've got this. And then you push yourself and yes, you can or no, you can't. And sometimes you find out that you shouldn't have tried. I know someone who's doing home health care, and one of the statements is like, if you don't think you can, don't try, because you don't want to try to do something and screw it up. So, Marie Bon, lavender is very good for helping you sleep, by the way. Let's see. So, yeah, yeah, when do you ask for help? So, we all often have a tendency, yes, to push ourselves, to try the new things, to stretch ourselves, to keep trying to do the things, regardless of what they are. Maybe it's trying to drive to work on the slippery roads, or maybe it's trying to make bread from scratch, and you've never baked anything. Maybe it's trying to ride a horse that's never been ridden before, and you've never ridden a horse before, or ride a bike and you've never ridden a bike before, or any one of those. There's a bunch of them out there. And if you've never tried, it's okay to ask for help. It's like, hey, this is a new experience for me. I want to make sure I get the most out of it. How do you suggest I do this thing, whatever it is? And often, just being humble like that and saying, hey, this is a new thing for me. It's amazing how open people are um, to being asked for help when you say, hey, this is a brand new experience for me. I've never done this before. How can I get the most joy out of it? How can I have the most fun? And, it's something that we have a hard time doing, though. Justin in the chat room says, or no, not Justin. Sorry, Justin. Titan in the chat room says, maybe it's a fault, but I will not ask for help unless I really trust the person. Okay, now see there, I get it, though. That's another reason why I have a hard time asking for help. Because historically, when I was much younger, if I did ask for help, odds were really, really good that either the help I did get was lackluster at best, or it was promised and never came through, or instead I was treated poorly or talked down to because I had asked for help. And that's frustrating. Elaine in the chat room says she doesn't have any trouble asking for help for physical things. It's emotional help I never ask for. Ooh, yeah. That one, I get it. I get that one too. And here is why I get it. Because physically it's like, hey, if like here shortly I'm going to have my arm in a sling and I'm not going to be able to do the stuff. And I get it. So, it's like, hey, can you grab that jug of milk out of the cooler for me? Thanks, man. Something like that. I think is good. But emotionally, that you're lowering your defenses, if you will, your emotional defenses when it comes to ask for help. And maybe this is what Titan is kind of talking about too, is we've been burned because we've asked for help, or that people we thought we could trust, we found out we couldn't. I've had some stuff stolen because of that, which is very, very vexing because, okay, I have a lot of stuff. I get it. It's a thing. I'm working on it. What is it? The first step to fixing or finding a solution is to admitting you have a problem, or you are a problem. Yeah, I've got the problem. I know I have a problem. I'm working on it slowly, very, very slowly. But I am trying to. But I've been burned. I really, really have in asking for help, because sometimes when you ask for help, there's no one to help. I spent a number of years living in Minnesota because I had family there and it made sense at the time, and I liked it mostly. Land of 10,000 swamps and sub-zero weather. And the last summer I was in Minnesota, my younger sister was like, hey, I'm not sure what's going on in your world, but, if you don't have anything going on, why don't you come here and you can help babysit a little bit while I'm going to school and working and everything else. And you know what? That's great. And so I sat down, did the whole pros and cons list, which I think when you're making big decisions, it's good. Make a pros and cons list. Pros versus cons. And as I'm writing things down, I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute. Northern Minnesota, sub-zero, like 40, 60 below zero in the winter. Mosquito towers so tall that they are in the news because the air little pilots and sprayers and stuff have to pay attention to where they are so they don't mess up their... Yeah, the mosquitoes are real, man. It's 100 degrees outside, and to mow the yard, I was wearing long pants, tucked into my boots with leg warmers to kind of keep everything sealed up, or gaiters, if you will. Long sleeve shirt, gloves, and I had taped around the cuff for the gloves. I was wearing a scarf a hat, a scarf, like a handkerchief, not like a warm weather scarf, but something to cover my face, and a hat. And the scarf on my face came down to cover my chest so that there was no gaps, no skin showing, basically. Um, and and that's the only way I can mow the yard without getting just eaten up by these mosquitoes. And rent was cheap. Jobs were kind of hit and miss at the time, and it's like, why am I here again? Why am I staying in the cold, frozen north of Minnesota? That, from what I understand, is quite similar to Siberia. Why am I putting myself through this kind of hell? I don't know. So it's like I relocated to Idaho, and part of that was when I'm looking at the pros and cons list. It's like, if I had a flat tire and had to call someone for help, who do I call? It's like, well, I could call this person or that person. Nope. 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 And I had I go through the people that I knew either from work or in socially or that kind of thing, and I had a whole list of nopes and not a whole lot of yups. And it's like, why am I putting myself through the stress of living in this place when I could go somewhere that's closer to home? Because the mountains of North Idaho have always been home for me. And be closer to family. So basically packed up, put a bunch of stuff in storage, and moved. And by golly, I'm so much happier here. And I really had to stop and think about it. Who is there to help me if I had to ask for help? Like, I'm going to have surgery here pretty quick. I know that I have a circle here that I can depend upon if I need help. Say, hey, I'm out of groceries. Can you stop and get me some bread and peanut butter because I'm starving? Or the dog is out of dog food, and and she's going to eat all my peanut butter sandwiches if I don't feed her something soon. I know that there's people I can call and say, hey, can you just bring me a 10-pound bag of dog food? I've got $10, And I think it's important, to have that circle that you can depend upon, whether it's friends or family. And I really think friends are the family you choose rather than just friends. And now I don't have the same connection to the community here nowadays that I had, say, 5 years ago, just because I've kind of reclused myself a little bit. Probably I just don't need to be out in the public and dealing with a lot of the populace, and so but I still know all those same people. President of the Chamber of Commerce, yep, know her. The mayor, yep, know him. Roll my eyes. Senator, yep, know her. Representative, yep, know him. There's all sorts of stuff there, and people I could reach out to if I needed to, and have real conversations with. So different levels of help that I have access to here that I've never had anywhere else. And so this is my circle that I've built for me. And Titan, I do see your question. I'll answer it after the break because we're about 2 minutes to break. So, it really kind of depends upon what it is you're asking for, yes, and what kind of circle it is you have available to, ask for help for. Because, yes, there are different levels of need. That's Titan's question, actually, is Paisley, also would it depend on the level of need? Yes. So I'm going to come back to that, and Justin and Lucky are both saying some stuff. So, yes. And we are going to talk about the pagan and witchy aspect of this as well. But, last weekend I talked about the depression and frustration, and I included the help hotline for suicidal thoughts and ideation and such, because I think it's important to have someone you can reach out to. But it's like sometimes you got to know when to ask for help. And sometimes it's not obvious. Unfortunately, we don't always get that red flag that says, hey, by the way, you need help. You need a lot of help. You better call someone. 911, what's your emergency? Or here's 811. Did you call before you dug? Or, whatever it is. There's all those different things. So, um, anyways, so before I get into the next bit, yeah, we'll talk about that. And then if you guys are in chat or have access to chat, I would love to know what you guys think are signs that you need to ask for help. Or, some direction that you might give to others who are asking for help. So we're going to talk about that when we come back from break. Remember, the call lines are open, so if you want to just call and give me your 3 cents, you can do that too. The number again, just so you have it, is 213-233-3998. And as we're going to break, now's a good time to check out that iLife.com, everyone, because iLife is good for you. AYALIFE.com. Yep. So, off to break. Be right back, guys. Where's the button?
Songs of love.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. I'm flying solo tonight with y'all as my co-pilots. um, because yes, sometimes I need help going crazy. I mean, why not? Isn't that just where it's most fun? Is everyone goes crazy together? Anyways, we're talking about when to ask for help. Or should I ask for help is the name of the show title, excuse me. And we've been just kind of talking a little bit about it just before break. And then, let's see, Titan asked a question. Wanted to know if it would depend upon the level of need. Yes. Justin says he has a hard time asking for help because many depend on him. And if he asks for help, they become afraid or unstable. Oh, goodness. Isn't that just a real thing? Yes. For many years, I was unable to be angry or upset about stuff. And it's like, what? Where? That makes no sense. Well, it's because I was generally the one, the even-tempered one, the one that got things done. The one that didn't panic or freak out. I still don't panic or freak out. Friend of mine that broke her toe, I'm like, do you want some ice? That was my response. Are you going to go to the doctor? Goofy. But still, that's basically my reaction. It's like, so do you need help or not? If you don't need help, I'm not going to make you get help. I mean, why would I make you get help if you don't need help? Kind of a thing. Although technically she needed help. So, but was her choice, not mine to make. So anyways, here we are. What are we going to do and ask for help? Yeah, there are different categories. And for me, when I would ask for help, people would be like, what do you mean you need help? You got this. You don't need help. You're always the one helping everybody else out. It's like I felt like I always had to be strong for everyone else. I always had to be the go-to person for everyone else. And I had to be the fix-it, the doer, the maker of things and the doer of stuff. And it didn't matter which family member called, whether it was my dad or my aunt, my grandmother, my mom. Like, you needed something taken care of, you called me. Partly because I know the things and can do the stuff. I still know the things. I just might need help to do some of the stuff. Fix the dryer, yeah, I could do that. Fix the washing machine, yep. Technically, I could plumb and pipe a house. I could hot wire. Yes, I could wire a house. I could shingle. I can pour the cement. I can do all those things. I've also reached the age where I don't want to. I want to pay someone else to do it because, yeah, I'm old enough that it hurts to crawl around on the floor trying to put in new carpet. I may know how to do it, but it doesn't mean I want to. I can change my oil. I could probably do an engine swap. It's been a few years since I did that, but I could. I mean, it's not like, well, okay. When I did it, there was still room inside of the engine well to be able to see things and fix things and do things without having the weird snaky attachments, because you have to go like a puzzle to get to the 7/16 or the 10 millimeter or whatever it was. So again, nowadays I just want to pay someone else to do it. And that's part of the reason why you need to make a little more money as an adult or older adult, is because you don't want to do all those things anymore. You want to pay someone else to do it. So yeah, I know how to do all the stuff. Partly because people would ask, hey, do you know how to do this thing? And I just didn't have the fear to try, It's like, well, I might not know, but I can figure it out. It's just stuff. I mean, A leads to B leads to C. I mean, it's not rocket science, guys. If the pipes are in wrong, they leak. If the wiring's not hooked up right, you'll know. And this was before YouTube. But yeah, mostly I could figure it out. And um, it seems like a lot of people aren't willing to take that risk to figure stuff out. So, yes, they depend on others because you are their go to. But stop right there before I continue anything else. If you are in a position where you are the go to all the time and you can't ask for help, because everybody will panic because you're the go to person, that means you need to look at your personal boundaries and how they're set up, because you're letting other people set your boundaries for you. And often they're doing it for their benefit, not yours. So self-care means you have boundaries, and you have expectations. In managing businesses, um, if you're on call 24/7 and willing to help the people at 2 a.m., even though you should be asleep, they're going to call you at 2 a.m. and ask you where the dustpan is when they could just go look for it. But yeah, they're a little too lazy to do it. Or maybe there's a fear there. I don't know. But in helping people, part of our job is to help empower them to figure things out on their own. And often empowering someone is a really, really hard thing because people are afraid of change. They're afraid to take that step and be on the hook for their own decisions. So you don't have to be that person for everyone all the time. Just saying, Justin and Titan and y'all. So, yeah. When it comes to you needing help, you need to be able to say, sometimes I need help. And if you're always stepping in and always fixing things for other people, they're not learning how to fix things for themselves. Or, and there's no or. And we need to empower people to take the risk, take the chance to do the thing. And as a pagan and a witch, when I see people asking for help online, it's like, all right, well, here's some books to read. I want you to journal it. I want you to check your intention. What are you trying to accomplish? Think about it, meditate a bit, and then come to me with your solution. And if you still need help trying to figure it out, well, let's see. Well, I can give you some hints and we can figure it out. Like, for instance, a gal did a tarot reading on herself today. And I personally don't generally do reverse cards if I'm doing tarot, just because life's complicated enough without trying to remember all the reverses. But in this particular reading, the reverse card was important because in a 9-card draw that she was doing for herself, she had one card that was reversed. And so I had her explain her interpretation of the cards to me that she was reading. And so now this card is reversed. What does that card normally mean to you if it wasn't reversed? And she's like, well, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, so basically, you're telling me that if this card had been upright, it would mean this. Well, if it's reversed, it kind of means the opposite of that. So, and kind of, because it's open to interpretation, depending on which deck you're using, by the way. It's like, well, generally that means the opposite. So instead of you being the dominant in this relationship that you're just starting, maybe you need to step back and take a more traditional role, according to the U.S., and let him make the first step. Let him, kind of direct the relationship a bit, instead of you taking charge and doing everything, literally everything. He has to grow in the relationship too. And she's like, oh, my stars. That's it exactly. How'd you know? It's like, you're the one reading the cards. We talked it out, and it was a real easy teaching moment. Like, if you're going to go through and read the cards, your interpretation. All right, now let's look at it this way. What would the opposite be, or what would it be? And in that respect, am I helping her? Yeah, absolutely, I am. But I also was helping her to interpret something for herself in a way that she understood, and it empowered her to understand her reading better than if I had just said, "Oh, this is what it means." Um, so, um, you know, yeah, the empowering. Um, so, depression, I see, is the topic this came up in the chat, and you know what? That's a real topic, 100%. Here in North Idaho, we have limited sunshine this time of year, so people get the seasonal affective disorder, and that's a real thing, guys. I've been it, I've lived it, I deal with it occasionally. I've got family members to deal with it. First off, if you have access to professional guidance and you're feeling significantly depressed, it's not a bad thing. Depression is a demon that you don't have to fight on your own. And often fear gets in our way because we feel like we're afraid to be judged. Like, well, I shouldn't be sad about this, for crying out loud. Why am I so down about it? It's just blah. For instance, we had to put our dog Basil down last week. And for some people, it's just a dog. Why are you so worried? Why are you so upset? It's just a dog. It's like, well, no, you don't get it. He was my buddy. He was my study buddy. He was my friend. He was always there for me. He wanted to cuddle when I wasn't feeling well. I mean, seriously, he was a knucklehead, but he was my friend, and I miss him. So am I feeling down about it? Yes. There's not a doggone thing wrong with that. It is okay to miss your pets because they're an important part of your family. They really are. And sorry about the nose running. I told you it was cold. I'm not crying. It's just stuff. Things tighten. And it's real, to feel down. And when you're feeling down about something like that, it's normal. That's all. It's just straight up normal. It is normal to feel upset because something isn't the way you expected it to be. A relationship doesn't work out. It's okay to be upset about it. It's okay to mourn the end of that relationship because that's what it is. You're mourning the end of the potential that relationship could have been. A friend or loved one passes. It's okay to be sad that they're not there anymore. Granted, they've gone on to the next life. It's their turn to go on to the next thing. But it's okay to miss them, and you shouldn't punish yourself or beat yourself up because you're upset that things aren't working out quite the way you thought they were going to work out. Pretty normal. 2021, off to an interesting start, guys. 2020 was rough on many people. Not everyone, but many people. And even those who had a good year, there's still some aspects of it that were kind of crappy. COVID has been just an eye-opening situation, I think, for a lot of people, and frustrating and depressing things. And you know what? It's pretty normal to feel a little bit down about that. Now, when depression is really driving the bus and you're just kind of along for the down ride, then yes, it's time to reach out to a professional and seek help. And if you don't have insurance and you're in the U.S., there's often clinics available where you can go and they have a discount or sliding fee scales. If you have questions about who to go to, if you have access to social media, you can always say, hey, who's a good therapist? Word of mouth is often a really good suggestion. You can call your emergency room. Thanks, Marie. Say, hey, I'm feeling down. What do I do? And you know what? You can actually just go to the emergency room and say, hey, I am not okay. Now, right now, some hospitals do have room for people or patients experiencing a mental health crisis. And if depression is driving your life, you may be in a crisis. And you may need that intense intervention of being an inpatient. And that's okay. It is okay to take a break. I gotta tell you, there's some times as a single parent, I seriously considered, it's like, what is the value in having a mental health crisis right now? Could I have taken a vacation in a padded room where I had housekeepers and I didn't have to worry about anything for a couple days? There's some real positives there. Yes, Jess. Drama did cuddle up with us. She's in front of a heater now, being happy and fluffy. Kimber, our boxer, she kind of misses her buddy, but she's happily stealing my pillows. So if depression is dominating your world, and it really, truly can, and I get it if it is, now is the time to reach out for help. And sometimes insurance companies have telehealth now, where you can do it over the phone. And it's often you just need to let it out and talk to somebody. Titan mentions, just be careful of the antidepressants. Some are good, some are not. I actually take antidepressants myself for fibromyalgia. Just funny story there. They discovered people with pain disorders are often depressed. That's not really a shocker to me, honestly, because I get it. But they found out that some of those antidepressants are very, very good for pain reduction. And so trying that, we'll see how that goes. I'm willing to try anything, at least once. I like the more natural versions of things so much better, though. But that's just because that's the way my metabolism works. So if you have a doctor that you go to and you are getting help for depression and you don't like the way they're treating you, remember, they work for you. You don't work for them. And you can get a referral to go somewhere else. You may have to go through your primary care doctor and say, hey, listen, this is what's going on. The specialist I'm seeing isn't necessarily the right one for me because I feel worse rather than better. You should not come out of a therapy appointment or a counseling appointment feeling worse than you went in. And once you've gone through some counseling sessions and your depression is not driving the boat and you've got a little bit of control on it, that's when you start talking to your priest or priestess, because it may be time for some shadow work and find out what the root cause of the depression is. Where does it come from? Because a lot of times the therapy doesn't look at our shadow selves or the parts of ourselves that we repress and shove down to the point where we don't even acknowledge them anymore. And so in repressing that and find our shadow selves that we are ignoring or spent so many years ignoring, it's hard to let it out. And often we don't realize it until we talk to someone in a spiritual way, not just in a counseling way. So yeah, if you've got some depression, which I get, yeah, talk to a professional. Eat the chocolate, if you can, and yeah, be open-minded about the medications, but don't assume that all medications are going to be the right thing for you, because depending on your situation, some will work better than others, and that's just the way of it. And you may have to go through some adventures to find out what it is you need to do. Journaling can also help with depression, because if you have something that's really weighing on your brain and causing you to just spin out of control every so often, sometimes just by journaling it, we can control it better. And I mention journaling quite often. Justin mentions that fungus is your friend. You know what? There is some truth to that. Some of the psychotropic mushrooms, microdosing is a real thing, And they're doing some studies now that are really interesting when it comes to microdosing. And Ben, you're not being a downer. This is a real thing. You're asking for help. This is if you need help, don't be afraid to ask for it. This is a situation where you need to ask for it. And I want my show and myself to be someone that you can approach and say, hey, listen, I'm having a hard time. What do I do? And if that means I just need to listen, that's what I'll try to do. If you need additional help, I will try to do that. I won't do it for you, but I can poke you in the right direction. So, deep cleansing breath, Ben. I would recommend wearing some tourmaline. If you got some tourmaline available, put it in your pocket. And some shungite, because stones are your friend as well. And sometimes that ever-present depression, you don't know what life is like without it. And it takes a little bit to get there. So, deep cleansing breath. We'll do the singing bowl after the break. And go from there. Yes, and chocolate. Chocolate in the coffee. Chocolate-covered mushrooms? That sounds horrible, but you never know. You never know. I'd try them once anyways. Maybe. I like chocolate. I'd hate to have it screwed up by mushrooms. And vice versa. Yeah. Anyways. So, asking for help. How do you know when to ask for help? Well, yeah, if you're encountering something in your day-to-day life that is causing you enough mental anguish that it's changing the way you do things. So if you are going to work and you used to like going to work, but now suddenly you don't like going to work. Maybe you get anxiety going to work, or upset, or stressed, or something like that. What's going on at work that you are having a hard time going? Or on the reverse, going home. If you would really rather be at work than go home, what's changed at home that you're having a hard time going home? Or spending time with friends, or spending time with family. Think of your time. So, okay, spoon theory. I don't know if y'all have heard of the spoon theory. I'm going to go into it just real quick before the break, because it's almost top of the hour already. Tonight's just flying by. So, spoon theory. So, spoon theory was developed by a gal by the name of Christine Miserandino, and she's got a chronic illness type of disorder, and the spoons are used to illustrate the amount of energy that you have in the day to do the things. And so maybe you start off the day with 20 spoons, as an example. Getting out of bed and getting dressed, that's 3 spoons. Okay. Having breakfast, that's a spoon. Going to work, maybe that's 7 spoons. Eating dinner, maybe that's 3 more spoons. And spending time with your family, maybe that's 5 more spoons. You start counting up all your spoons, and it's like, wait a minute, I am out of spoons, but I committed to doing this presentation at work and I have to work on it yet. Well, shoot, what am I going to do? Do I blow it off and not do it, which is bad if it's work? Or do I borrow from tomorrow's set of spoons, and try to get it done today? You're like, all right, well, it'll only take 2 more spoons and I can get all this stuff done and I can sleep well and it'll be great. So you borrow spoons from tomorrow. Well, tomorrow, instead of 20 spoons, you have 18 spoons. And you still have to do all the things, but you're short of spoons. So that means at some point, your body's just going to stop. Say, nope, that's it, I'm done. Or your mind or your emotions or whatever it is. And suddenly you're out of spoons, and it's like, wow, it's 2:00 in the afternoon and I still have to finish out my day at work, and I have to eat dinner, and I have to spend time with my family, and shoot, I've got to go to parent-teacher conferences, and I have 2 spoons left. What am I going to do? You start prioritizing what you have yet to do and where you can put that energy. So from 2 to 5, finish out your work day, you get nothing done because you're just like, you're brain dead. You just can't. But it doesn't recharge your spoons because you only had 18 to start with. And so you spend a spoon going to parent-teacher conferences and a spoon doing family stuff, and you forget to eat. Or you borrow a spoon from tomorrow. That's kind of frustrating to always be in that cycle of just not having enough energy to get stuff done. And often depression means, well, you've got 20 spoons. I'm using that as an example because maybe you only have 5. You have 20 spoons, but 5 of them are out of reach. If you just reach those other 5 spoons, you could get so much more done. Oh my gosh. Don't beat yourself up if you're having a problem and you're needing to ask for help. That's not another burden to put on yourself. If you're feeling powerless and upset, ask for help. Talk to your doctor and get a professional that'll help you get on a path to better mental health. I think that's important. So, it's very important. We're going to break. When we come back, we'll do some singing bowl, and we'll see you in a few.
You will so.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between because we can. So yes, but a little. So, um, singing bowl time because we can. Yeah. Hey, Sonia. Ooh, wrong side. Dude. There we go. Woody woot. Love the bowl. The bowl is my friend. Um, so, when to ask for help? Well, as a pagan, I have to tell you, when I first was kind of coming out of the broom closet a bit more, and Sonia knows this, um, I really wanted someone to teach me, to give me some instruction, to direct me, to tell me what I needed to learn and figure out and stuff. And partly because of my own insecurities, because, hello, um, I have them too. I mean, we all do, kind of, right? To an extent. And, but yeah, I have insecurities just like the next person. And, it's. I totally lost my train of thought. Vitamin D, excellent, excellent medication. So yeah, you know, um, you know, I wanted someone to teach me, and that's what I thought I needed. And in a way, yeah, we all need someone to teach us and guide us. We all need that person. And so I joined the Aminos because I was looking for just like-minded people. Because here in North Idaho, it's kind of hard to um, just I'm sorry. Um, I wanted like-minded people, and here it's hard to ask for that. It's like, you have a lot of tattoos. Are you a pagan? Or what is it? What do you believe? I saw someone with OM tattoos, and I'm like, nice tattoos. Do they mean anything? He goes, oh, that's just kind of cool. It's like, oh, great. So you basically have some random barcode on you, and you don't know what it means. Smart. That was great. Great life choices. So, um, it just what am I gonna do? So I wanted at least someone I could talk to and communicate with and ask ideas about. Or ask ideas of and directions or some sort of guidance. And I got some of that. But more what I got from joining the social media communities regarding paganism and witchcraft is I found online forums basically where I could just be me and I could talk about paganism and witchcraft and different experiences I had and what this might mean. And it's it's hard to find that kind of fellowship and conversation. Yeah, it's hard, to find people to have that fellowship type of conversation and chat about things and interact with people. I mean, that's why we go online and we have social media groups and such. And And it's often hard, to find that that home, if you will, of where we can just let our hair down a little bit, or put on the comfy clothes and bust out the pajamas and the bathrobe, and just talk about the stuff that's on the inside, the stuff that we're worried about, the stuff that energizes us or excites us when it comes to being a pagan or a witch. And so often we need to find that for ourselves, either close to where we are or online. And in doing that, you're asking for help, yes, but you're also giving help. So if, for instance, one of the chat rooms that I follow, somebody asked, hey, my daughter's getting ready to lose her first tooth, and my husband is very, very Christian, and I'm pagan, and how do we handle the tooth fairy? Because I don't want to just give money and make her think that it's important to get money for teeth. So what we did for Mini-Me, I just asked her. It's like, hey, so what is it the tooth fairy should bring you when you lose this tooth? And I asked her when she was wiggle it, and she's like, oh, well, for the first tooth she wanted a gold coin, so we got her Sacagawea dollar coin. She thought that was super awesome. And the next tooth was like a $2 bill, and it's like, so I asked her all these questions, and I did it with a video playing in the background, so or recorder, so I could see, remember it and write it down, and it worked out perfect, because sometimes she wanted money, but one time she wanted flowers, so we got her a bouquet of flowers. And she got a salt lamp for this last one, a little nightlight salt lamp, because it was important, and she was really excited because it was just shaped just like my tooth, which I thought was hilarious. It's in putting that out there. It's like, hey, so this is what I did, and it worked out well. I got a lot of really great feedback. They're like, oh, that's such a great idea. Didn't think about that, because I didn't want it to be all money. I wanted it to be something special. And so that's what it was. We've made it special. She had a sun catcher, the lamp, flowers. She really loved the flowers. At one point, she wrote a thank you note to the tooth fairy. She put that in with her tooth. And so the tooth fairy wrote her back and put that in with the surprise. And, that back and forth communication kind of keep the magic alive, yes. But, teaching her that, it's not about the money, And so when I put that out there, really great feedback from the other parents, because they were kind of wondering, like, what are we going to do? Like, oh, that's the best idea ever. And so sharing that parental experience as a pagan is good as well. So in putting information that I'm using, I'm giving a helping hand to people who are reading or listening. But in asking questions, like, I need a bathtub chair for the friend that broke her foot. And so I put that out there. Hey guys, anybody know who has a bathtub chair? Doesn't have to be a fancy one. Just needs to be nice and sturdy. And it's just, what are we going to do? And so my tribe, if you will, is going to be able, they're coming through and they're like, hey, I think we found one, and we'll connect and we'll get it to you. It's like, so that's great. I think it's awesome. And it's important to have that level of comfort to put out there, like, hey, I know someone who needs this. Can anybody help? And you also have to be connected in the right places and know where to put it. Because if you just write a sign on 8.5 or 8 by 11 sheets says, I need a chair, and you staple it to a tree, you're not going to get the same results as if you talk to a nonprofit in town that provides, they're called assistive medical devices or something like that. Um, sure, Lucky, if you really want to, but um, yeah, the shipping's expensive right now, just so you know. Um, she asked if we could just ship one. Like, yeah, sure, sure, you betcha. Um, honestly, I could get one from Amazon for like $40, and I'll probably just do that. But that way, I get the right one. Worst case scenario. But anyways, so knowing where to ask for help is important. So, Lucky mentioned, um, at one point she was in the chat room earlier. She mentioned at one point she was homeless and she was looking for help, and she found people that were willing to help because they've made it their life mission to help. Now, a lot of times, when before, or just real quick time out, Lucky, I want to make sure it's not prescribed first by the doctor, because if it is, then insurance will pick it up and there's no reason to worry about it. So I have to talk to the doctor on Monday and we'll know for sure. Um, so there's a lot of people out there who have made it their life mission to go and help others, in part because at some point they themselves experienced a situation where they needed help and they appreciated the efforts of others. And so when they got to the point in their lives where they could help others, they're paying it forward, if you will. And so I've tried to look at it that way myself. It is good to remember to pay it forward. That doesn't always mean, buy the person behind you in the coffee shop line a cup of coffee, although sometimes that's really good. Or buy somebody's groceries at the grocery store. It's just trying to figure out what it is you need to do to help someone else, because you had the opportunity to be helped once upon a time. So, for me, I received help when I was younger because I was a single mom, and I learned where some of the resources were because I was helping others to kind of pay it forward myself. And nowadays, I am connected with a lot of the help groups in the area because I was volunteering, and we've got a group here locally. It's called Angels Over Sandpoint, and it just got started because the gal who started it wanted to help people, and she and her friends got together and they started doing the Angels Over Sandpoint. Now it's a big nonprofit group, and they buy backpacks and school supplies for the kids, and they help others, and it's been a really good group, and I am a volunteer with them. I try to help them as much as I can, depending on what's going on in my world, and it's a way for me to contribute to the community. So that's physically something I can do physically. So spiritually, when people come into the shop where I work, people ask questions about rocks and crystals and such. It's like, how can I help them? What stone do they need? So we've got a couple of resource books, which are pretty freaking awesome. There's some apps on your phone that you can get when it comes to stones and crystals that might help you as well. Sometimes you just need that touchstone or that thing to help you. Like, for instance, for the longest time, I had a lot of anxiety when it came to public speaking, really, truly, and like a group of more than two people. I would kind of start panicking and freaking out, and I'd talk too fast, and I would try to get too much information in one little bitty bit, and I would la, 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 and I'd go crazy. So I had to work on my anxiety and what was going to do. So I used several different things for fidgets to help with my anxiety. I used hair ties because I could pull them off and I could just fiddle with it, and that was great. I've had this ring now for 10 years. It's one of those fidget rings. It's a spinner ring. The fidget spinners, the little wheelie things, those are fun. But manipulates or things I can play with, pens, the click, click, click of a pen. Yeah, that helps. Drives everybody else nuts, but hey, I've got a couple stones in a little box here on the desk. I got the selenite wand. I've got the apatite, the quartz, carnelian. Love my carnelian. That I can just sit here and hold and fidget with as I need to, because sometimes I have the anxiety. So these are just different things that I've learned for me to help, and I would love being able to share that information with other people. So at the rock shop, I can do that. When I'm in a group of people and we're just having a conversation, well, so this is, like dream work. Hey, I dreamed about this. What do you guys think it means? I participated in a YouTube group here, or a Zoom meeting last weekend about that. And, there's some different insights I was able to provide for different things that people were dreaming about. And on the flip side, they were able to provide insights for different dreams that I had had. And it was just this group session is really, really powerful and fun. And it wasn't something that I would have just reached out and asked for help. It's like, because generally I can figure it out and stuff. But honestly, sometimes you do need that little bit of outside help. You really do. I think Titan mentioned in the chat room earlier, like, there's a difference between, asking somebody to jumpstart your truck because your battery went dead because the kids left the dome light on. Because that's what my kids would do. Or versus, talking about your dreams or your fears. The two really different things. Because the person with the jumper cables may not be the one that you want to sit down and have a cup of coffee with. Yeah. Because not everybody is the right person to have a cup of coffee with. Instead of lifting you up, they bring you down. Or instead of, or they leave you neutral, which is good. But sorry, I'm reconnecting somewhere. Lucky. I think I need to talk to you about technology sometimes. But it's that interaction of and the give and take, and the ability to say something and another person spawn an idea off, like, oh, hey, this is this, and this means this to me, and it's like, oh, that resounds with me, and wow, that's such a great idea. I'm so glad you brought it up because this and that, and that ability to interact, even though you're not asking for help, you're receiving it because you're also giving it. And sometimes you have to give the help to receive the help, if that makes sense. And Jessica in the chat, yeah, people have different roles. Yeah, really do. Think of your coworkers. So I'm sure if you have 5 coworkers and you think of the first 5 people that you work with, there's the one that you don't ever want to see outside of work, period, because they're just not your people, and that's okay. One, if you bump into the grocery store, you'd be like, oh, hey, how you doing? But that's about it. Third, if you needed a ride to work, you'd probably give them a call and say, hey, you know what? My car broke. Can you give me a ride to work when you go in? I'll give you some gas money. And they'll be like, yeah, sure, whatever. And one is you might actually say, hey, I'm having a barbecue this weekend. You want to come over and join? If you don't want to, no big deal. there's the 5 people. There's 5 different relationships there, 5 different accesses of things, and yeah. So be aware of who you're around and who you're asking for help, because not everybody is going to have your best interests at heart. Um, Not everybody is going to have the same ability to help you if you ask for help. So you not only do people have different roles, they have different expectations. So the one that is says, you know what, I can't give help or I can't ask for help because people depend on me too much. Sometimes they need to see you as the person who seeks help, because it can empower them to ask for help from someone else. Let's see. So Titan says, Paisley, we have to be careful sometimes. The people that are helping are really helping their own vacancies and will take energy rather than give it. Titan feels that sometimes we need to vet them just a little bit before we trust too much. Yeah, absolutely. Lucky says, yeah, some people are able to help with the car battery situation, but needs help with spinal adjustments. And the one that can do spinal alignments can't get their tech to work, and along comes one who can. So, yeah, everybody has slightly different abilities. Thinking of my own sisters, one ex-military, qualified as a marksman. I would trust her around a handgun any day of the week. The other one, she'd probably be okay, but I don't know. One thinks really outside the box and can figure things out. The other is more linear and direct in thought. So if I'm looking for an outside the box idea, I go to one rather than the other one. It's 2 very different people. Actually, or 3 very different people. Same upbringing for all 3 of us. So just really different. And that's part of the reason why we have a village. It doesn't necessarily just take a village to raise a child. It takes a village to be a village. And your village anymore, because of the way social media works and online access works, your village isn't necessarily the same people within 100 yards of you anymore. It could be anybody in the world, because we're so interconnected online and the ability to talk with one another online. Nay, say you are not stupid, period. And it is often, when you're in a village, for instance, you may have one person who is the butcher, and one person who is the gardener and raises all the vegetables and stuff. The gardener might not want to eat any vegetables or any meat, period. Maybe they're vegetarian, I should say. But they understand the value of having, the butcher there to butcher the meat, because there's someone available to, keep the livestock under control so they're not all eating the vegetables. Everybody has their different roles. You don't always necessarily have to get along, but everybody has their own value, their own importance in a group or a village, if you will. And when you have a group like that, you have to be aware of who you're asking for help and also how you're asking for help. And sometimes the how you're asking for help is more important than the who, because not everybody can help you, period. And not everybody will even want to help you. And some people won't even hear the plea for help. So, or they'll hear the plea for help, and they'll see it as, oh, well, I'm the expert. That's why you came to me. Yeah, that narcissist. Mm-hmm. And it's frustrating, because the ones that are saying, hey, I'm here to help you because I am the expert, and you said I am the expert, they are they're just doing it to feel good about themselves. And they're not really there to help you. So they're there to empower themselves and take your energy for themselves. So be aware of where you're at and who you're asking. So, yeah. Um, yeah. So take a deep cleansing breath. Stop and think about what you're doing and what you're thinking about and what you need help with. Don't be afraid to journal it. Don't be afraid to put it out in the world saying, hey, you know what? I need help because I don't know what plants to put in my garden because I don't know what's going to grow best here. And you put that in your journal and you're like, okay, what am I doing? And you put it out there that you need help. And next time you go to the garden center or whatever and you're looking at seeds, and there's someone who really knows and invites you to join the garden club or something, or lets you know that there's classes at your local library talking about seeds, or maybe like here locally, our library has a seed exchange. And the seed exchange is pretty cool because if you bring in some seeds, you have to document where they're from and what kind of plants they are, and they'll change you, or they'll trade you seeds. So super cool. So we're off to our last break, and when we come back, we'll finish up asking for help.
Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath our soul.
Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me the songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. So, hey, I'm going to straight up just address. Hey, YouTube chat room, let's just take a breather here. Stop pointing fingers. Stop being argumentative. Deep cleansing breath. The other day, in the chat or on the show, I talked about keyboard warriors and how if you're getting ready to post something, take a deep cleansing breath before you hit send. Hold that mirror up to you and look yourself in the eye and say those things out loud. And would you say them to yourself or would you say them to a loved one? If the answer is no, don't do it. Don't hit send. So, and yes, I will put people in timeout and turn the bus around. So there. Breathe in, breathe out. We're talking about helping people, not helping people. And if help is offered and you choose not to take it, that's not on anybody but yourself. I want you to think about that. If help is offered and you choose not to take it, that is not on the people around you. That is on yourself. I'm as guilty of this as the next person. Because, yeah, I have people offer me help all the time. It's like, nah, I'm good, thanks. My friend, the one that broke her foot, Doc asked her if she needed any painkillers. She's like, nah, I'll be fine. I'll tough it out. It hasn't hurt that much. Yeah. As of this moment, we're going to be calling the doctor in the morning because she needs the painkillers because she broke her bloody foot in 4 places. Deep cleansing breath. In her case, shallow cleansing breath. So, yeah, if the help is offered and you don't take it, that's not on anybody but yourself. And, I am as guilty of that as the next person. I said that once. I'm going to say it again. I'm as guilty of that as the next person. Because there's times when someone says, hey, do you need help doing that? I'm like, nah, I got this. And I have a torn rotator cuff. So, although I got to tell you, I have no idea how I did this. I no idea. I wish I knew. That way I would never do it again. So, yeah, no idea. But seriously though, if you keep forcing yourself to do the things that you are doing, sometimes it's carrying all the baggage. Because we carry our own baggage. Often our friends and family say, hey, can you carry my baggage too? And you're like, yeah, sure, I can do that for a little bit. I'll be fine. And then as you keep going, it's like suddenly it's like, oh, this is kind of heavy. I don't want to carry all this stuff anymore. But I said I'd do it, so I'm going to keep doing it. And you keep doing it. And it's like, and you get more and more baggage. And you're like, bloody hell, I've got too much baggage. I need to set something down. But, I told these people I would carry their baggage, so I got to set something of my own down. And you end up setting something that is yours down instead of something that is theirs. And because of that, something of yours is not being taken care of because you're so busy taking care of somebody else's stuff. And when you keep putting yourself on the back burner like that, you're not taking care of yourself. There's no self-care there. You're too busy taking care of other people. And you know what? It is easier to take care of other people and helping other people and solve their problems and all that stuff than it is to stop and look in the mirror and fix yourself. Honestly, truly. Um, so, set down the baggage that isn't yours and walk away from it. I talked to a gal today at the store. She was dealing with some of that herself with some of her friends. And it's like, if it makes it easier, go to the dollar store, get some of the little fake luggage things they have for dolls there, and put your friends' names on it. And you're like, all right. And next time they talk to you, he's like, no, stop. Here, I have this for you. This is your problem. I'm giving it back to you. It's not mine. So don't talk to me about that anymore. I'm not carrying it. And then don't let them talk to you about it. Sometimes you need that physical aid that says, hey, this one isn't mine. I'm not carrying it. I'm not asking for help from somebody else to carry your stuff because it's not mine to carry. I got my own stuff to deal with. And so, yeah, sometimes you do have to ask for help, though. But when you do ask for help, you're like, hey, I need help doing this thing because it's hard for me. Don't assume that people are going to carry your stuff for you. Instead, ask them to help you carry the burden so both of you carry it. It's yours. You should have the heavy end. But maybe they'll hold your hand, or maybe they'll open the door for you. And that is the help we need. Someone to be there with us. And so for those of you who have a hard time asking for help, because, hey, my tire went flat, can you help me change it? Is easier than, hey, well, I just got this test result from the doctor, and I'm going to have surgery, and I'm going to be down for the next 4 to 6 months, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do because I have these things I have to take care of, and all these commitments, and oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And one's a lot bigger than the other one, in reality. And so when you do that, you're like, oh my gosh, I got all this stuff. Talk to your doctor. That's kind of what they're there for. If you have a significant other, that's what they're there for. But if you're going to talk to your significant other and say, hey, we've got this thing coming up, you have to make sure you're there for them too. It's only fair. That's part of the reason why you're a partnership and you're together. But if you need someone to talk to about that kind of stuff, there are people to talk to, whether it's a therapist, counselor, whomever, your clergy person. Yeah. But it's, make sure you're just not carrying around other people's baggage because you got your own stuff. And when it comes to being a pagan or a witch, yes, absolutely. Stand up, say, hey, I need some help doing this thing because I don't know what to do. Don't forget that you also are empowered to go by the book, to do your own research, to listen to the podcast, find the YouTube channel. There is so much information out in the world today right now about paganism and witchcraft. It is crazy. There's more information, I should say, there's more disinformation about pagan and witchcraft than there's ever been information about paganism and witchcraft. There's so much out there right now, whether on YouTube like my show or on the podcasts or radios like in TFR or iHeartRadio, TuneIn, etc. And in order to get the help, sometimes, sorry guys, you have to open your mind to the help. Speak it into if you don't have someone say that you can say, hey, I need help finding the right ritual to do, to bring prosperity into my life. I just don't know what to do. You can actually just say, hey, universe or deity or spirit guides or whomever it is that you're reaching out to, or just, hey, whomever is listening, and speak it, not just think it, speak it. Hey, whoever is listening, I need help creating a ritual to bring prosperity into my life. And that's a big deal. And if you're serious with your intent, the universe, it'll come to you. you'll be in the grocery store and people will be talking about, oh, I just read this really great book. It talks about, setting intentions and getting this and rituals and stuff. And they'd be like, oh, hey, we're people. We believe the same things. Help me. Or you see it in a book review somewhere, or you hear about it in a podcast or something, or you see it on Facebook saying, hey, I just read this book. It's about paganism, but it's also about spirituality. And oh my gosh, it's such great information. You should read it. And you're like, oh, well, you're not a witchy person at all, but that's a great idea. Do it. You know, um, Oh, naysay. So I seem to have blown out my rotator cuff, and I need to have a surgery on it. So, yeah. Natural remedies for inflammation. So horsetail fern actually is excellent for inflammation. So I will be probably doing some of that, and some other stuff probably. So, yeah. So, and yes, there is a lot of crap out there, a lot of misinformation. If you look for a ritual for prosperity, you're just as likely to get something for World of Warcraft or Magic the Gathering or something like that, as you are, real rituals. But there's more and more stuff out there and available. There's so many YouTube channels. There's so many podcasts. There's so many articles, whether it's Pathos or The Wild Hunt or something like that. And yeah, there's so much out there to find for help. So sure, yes, ask for help, but you have to do your part. You have to seek the answer as well. So when you're asking for help, you say, hey, I need help doing the thing. But also, you need to put out there, I'm going to do this so I can learn about it. Journal as you're doing your research so you have that information for later, because that's important, because you're probably going to need it again. The odds of you needing one prosperity spell throughout your entire life is pretty rare, because what works for you may not work for your brother, your cousin, your nephew, your aunt, your uncle, your mom, your child, etc., etc. So, yeah. Yeah, Inflammation Nation. Unfortunately, again, they say I have 3 tears and a tendon that is unraveling. So, yes, there's inflammation, because that's something else entirely. But no, I straight up have damage I have to have fixed. And it hurts. So, yeah, it's frustrating. I to have my shoulder in surgery on my shoulder is so bizarre for me, because I've always been the one to be there for other people when they've been broken. So, shoe being on the other foot, very weird. Very, very weird. Yeah, horsetail fern is awesome. It grows all over. It's very, very prolific here, and Minnie and I harvest it every year. So, yeah, yeah, and it's in asking for help to really get the benefit of the help. You have to do the work, because most people, if you say, "Hey, I need more prosperity in my life," they're not going. You're not going to have some stranger walk up to you and say, "Here, it's the winning lottery ticket. You now have $600 million." The odds of that happening are somewhat. You're more likely to grow wings and fly off the planet and fly to the next one. Yeah, life doesn't happen like that. It's only in movies. So, frankincense, love frankincense. Oh goodness, hold on. Thank you, Justin. I have a caller. One moment. Hello, Oregon. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Justin.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. I just wanted to call in and talk about or reinforce that we need community. We need to all pull together and be strong together and help each other,
Mm-hmm.
now. And I really think that's what a lot of people are missing. For some reason, there's been this huge division. And
Yes.
if you look around your immediate community, you should be able to find people that are willing to work together in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't matter what their political views are or whatever. When it comes down to it, we're going to all need to work together.
Yes. I think in a way, we've allowed our political viewpoints to create an artificial division. Unfortunately, the artificial division is rapidly becoming a true division, and that's unfortunate because it's going to be hard to come back from that one. But yeah, there's so many things out there that are false walls, if you will, that keep us divided, whether it's politics or dollars in the bank or the way we dress or what we believe or is marijuana legal or illegal. And it doesn't really, we got to come together a little bit. And just,
I believe we can fight against that. And I've actually started fighting against that. But that's an ideology that's been pushed on people, and it's not a reality. We don't have to listen to that. We can make our own decisions and decide within our own communities what is going on. I'm sure in your community it's great. You guys are probably barely even wearing masks in northern Idaho. But
I will neither confirm nor deny.
Northwest Oregon, yeah, everybody's got masks. You can't, there's Karens everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mess out here, and it's really in your face. It's like, do I really want to live the rest of my existence like this?
Yeah.
It's really disturbing. And on the note of, we were talking about depression earlier. This is causing massive depression. This whole lockdown, all this, and people are looking for guidance. Mm-hmm. People are looking for leadership. And that's what we have to be.
Yeah.
We have to be solid heads and be leadership. Mm-hmm. And stand up in your community and go, okay, well, all right, Bob, you're out of milk, whatever. Mm-hmm. Go help your community, help the elders that are living out in the woods, in these little houses in the mountains or whatever. I don't know what everybody's community is like, but out here, I'm in the mountains. Like we're in the sticks.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, here we live, 20 minutes out of town, 15 minutes out of town. You'd think we were further out just because there's not as many people out here, but it's interesting how our neighbors, we've come together just a little bit, just because, snow happens. And we've got one neighbor has a tractor with a nice big snowblower on it. But we also kick him down $20 or a bottle of wine or something every so often. And it's just, but that's coming together and sharing and, being community. And that sense of community has become so foreign for us, I think, that it's hard to ask our neighbors for help. It's hard to communicate with our neighbors like that. I know I've got a circle of friends. We've been talking about just, everybody pitch in some dollars and some investment, and we just buy a chunk of ground and create a commune for ourselves. Which, on the one hand...
That's not a bad way to go.
I know, right?
A lot of people are thinking that way. buy some shipping containers and stack them.
Exactly.
Whatever. It's gonna look like the Branch Davidians all over the United States there pretty soon.
Yeah, we're just gonna redneck villa, but yeah, it's the ability to come together for community, for support of one another. I think is going to be necessary because right now the world is really really small. You know, we can reach out and touch anybody. I mean, here in chat, we're talking to people all over the world, which is great. On the radio, people from all over the world are listening. And it's fantastic. But I think we're rapidly getting to the point where the world's going to become a lot bigger because we're not going to have that same access, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, I totally think. I don't know exactly what the catalyst was. Whether it's just complete unrest, Donald Trump, the equinox, the magnetic pole shift that we've had. There's a lot of factors that have happened. A lot of things that have happened in 2020.
Yeah.
And so I can't really pinpoint what the catalyst was that started all of this, but something is a big change. It's a huge change. It's an awakening. Mm-hmm. People are waking up and going, what the hell is going on?
They really are. I've seen it in the store.
Yeah, people are starting to understand things that have been so hidden for so long. It's like just this, everybody's awake all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. A lot of us, anyway. Not everybody. There's a bunch of sheeple that are still living under the umbrella of blindness.
Oh, yeah. I don't get the blindness, but yes, that's there. And not necessarily blindness, but obliviousness. Or they don't want to see it, therefore they don't see it.
Yeah. I look at it as a positivity. Mm-hmm. And it's good. There's something always good happens in catastrophe. There's always a good result that ends in a catastrophe. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Yeah.
I won't speak right now.
Yeah. That's okay. I get it. Yeah. Sometimes you need to have the catastrophe or the damage or the trauma, if you will, to grow from it.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Sometimes break things up.
Yes, sometimes you got the shoulder surgery to appreciate that you didn't need the shoulder surgery beforehand. So, yeah. It'll be fine. I'm going to whine about it, though. Just to warn y'all, I'm going to whine about the shoulder just because I can. And I love y'all and I got to share my pain. So, but,
well, hopefully you still have some CBD cream.
Yes.
And you can rub that on your shoulder.
Yes. I'm going to have to order more, though.
And that is
just so you know. Because I love it. It's good stuff. My daughter keeps stealing it from me. She says it smells good. So yeah, I'll have to send you an email.
I think that's the most important thing, though. We really need to come together as communities, and however uncomfortable it is to just walk over to your neighbors or whatever, and say hi and say, hey, you guys ever need anything? I'm here. This is my number. Mm-hmm. Communication is becoming difficult in
some respects. It is
situations.
It's sometimes hard to talk to people face to face just because, well, right now you can't see their face.
Yeah, it's real, and a lot of people don't see it because they don't experience it because they're not active or something. I don't know, but I've had both of my Facebook accounts are like completely shadow banned. Nobody sees my posts. I've been posting for a long time. On my Justin Good Earth Facebook page, the last post anybody sees is from my birthday, July 14th, after we went to after I went to Montana and met up with Brent and Dawn and, Cha-Cha and everybody, nobody can see my posts after that. And I've been posting all the whole time.
I've got a few posts that I'm just waiting to post to see when I get banned, because I'm sure it's going to happen. Because paganism, witchcraft, that's what I talk about generally. Not necessarily controversial, but suddenly I have a feeling it's going to be. But, we are going to learn some things this year, I think. So, but we're just about done today, Justin. So I'll send you an email because I need to find out what I need to get for stuff. Yes. So.
Awesome. I will hook you up, and thanks for taking my call.
Right,
thanks for letting me rant.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Justin.
You helped me a lot, and I love everybody in the chat, as always. But
you're very welcome, and thank you.
It's nice to be able to talk to real people.
All right, everybody. So good night. Merry meet and merry part, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks, Justin, for calling in. Have a good night, all.